$10 gets you sticky floors, questionable entertainment, and zero judgment. If you're telling yourself just one more bad idea, this is it. Now showing regret, desperation, and whatever's behind curtain number one.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me here for the Taz Effect, daily news in a way you did not know you could use. For those listening in over the radio airwaves, thank you for tuning in at gcpr.live. And those watching on Facebook, Substack, TikTok, and YouTube, hey, how y'all doing? How your mama doing? Ciao. Today is chock full of a cornucopia of news. Now we're gonna get to Miss Melania and her movie that I don't even think she wanted. But let's start off with Rubio on Capitol Hill. Coons and Rubio disagree on whether Congress should have been consulted before Maduro ouster. Senator Chris Coons, a Democrat out of Delaware, said the Trump administration failed to properly consult with Congress in the months leading up to the dramatic U.S. military raid that ousted President Nicolas Maduro. The administration was taking strike after strike after strike against drug trafficking boats, Coons said, referring to the series of boat strikes near Venezuela that have so far killed at least 126 people over nearly 5 months. Senior Trump officials told members of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee that the military action to remove Maduro wasn't on the table, he added. Yet, it was being rehearsed, the senator told Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who appeared before the committee to testify about the U.S.'s next steps for Venezuela. If there was time to practice, there was time to consult, and consulting with Congress is not some high minded principle, not some abstract thing, not a nice to have, it's a got to have. And let me add this. Marco Rubio literally was like, well, there's something that I learned in my new position. He holds multiple titles. We don't really know what the hell he does, but I digress. That I did know when I was in Congress, there's a lot of contingency plans from the Department of War. No shit, Sherlock. You're gonna learn more things when you get elevated to a higher position. But that doesn't answer the question. You all knew that you were supposed to notify, and you didn't. Now, currently, Rand Paul and Rubio are tussling. When I tell you, it's not just the Democrats that are done, that are sick of their shit. The Republicans are like, now look, okay, you put way too much dip on this chip. What are we doing here? Okay, we would like to get reelected, or if we decide to step back, we would like to get jobs in the private sector. And we're not going to be able to do this because they're learning, they're seeing that as much as they have disdain for Trump and his current cabinet, his current administration behind the scenes, their lack of willingness, talking about the GOP, to speak about it publicly is going to be detrimental. And they're also having to reconcile with the fact that outside of a grift, the MAGA faction of the current GOP is not profitable. MAGA led businesses have shut their doors more than anybody else. That's why I chuckle every time I hear somebody go, if you go woke, you go broke. No, it seems that you dumb chuckle are going broke. Hey, DJ, thanks for joining us. So, yeah, but I told y'all, no one in the GOP ever liked Trump. Trump is that person that tries to fit in and push themselves in where they're not wanted. They refuse to read the room. It's not that they can't, they refuse to do it. Absolutely. Trump wants to be liked by so many people, he can't help it. All right. To all my comic book nerds, we need to have a solemn moment. Beloved Spider Man and Star Wars actor dead at 38. Alexis Ortega, who has become synonymous with the Latin Spanish dubs of Marvel's Spider Man franchise, has sadly passed at 38. Alexis Ortega has passed away at the age of 38. Ortega was a voice actor best known for his work on the Spider Man movies, where he provided the Latin American Spanish dub for Tom Holland's performances. There has currently been no information provided regarding the cause of Ortega's death. Hey, Crescent. Whew. Mm. Do y'all remember when Trump and his former band of nutwagons were being indicted, charges were coming down, and they're like, political persecution, political persecution. They're weaponizing the government against us. Y'all remember that? Because Tassie Farms remembers. Okay. Guess what's going on right now? FBI searching elections office in Fulton County, Georgia, in connection to 2020 vote. It is 2026. Now, I know some people personally who have held some grudges over bid, whist, and spades and a few Uno games. Okay, to this day they claim that they won, that this didn't happen. Da 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 da. Okay, okay. But this is ridiculous. And for those that keep going along with Trump's not delusion, it's a flat out lie. I want y'all to tell me, if the election was so rigged, how did other Republicans win? If the whole point was to stack the deck for Democrats so Democrats could get what they wanted, why wasn't the deck stacked? Just look question. And let's not forget that a lot of the co-conspirators already admitted that they broke the law. They started turning over state's evidence. But let's continue. Federal investigators executed a search warrant at an election office in Fulton County, Georgia, in connection with the 2020 vote, officials said. FBI agents were executing a court-authorized law enforcement action at the county's main election office in Union City, just south of Atlanta, an FBI spokesperson said Wednesday. An FBI source confirmed to The Independent that the Bureau was undertaking law enforcement activity in the area, but declined to provide further details. They're not going to give you further details. Now I need y'all to also go with me here. We're gonna take a short walk. Okay, you don't even have to stretch for this one. You don't even have to bring your water bottle with you if you don't want to. Okay, all right. They wanted voter records out of Minnesota. Now they're raiding for voter registration and for voter information in Georgia. Now, some people are like, oh, they're gearing up to steal the election. Baby, they've been doing that. Okay? They didn't do that. Oh, we're going to get to this in a minute. Just wait for it, DJ. Just wait for it. We're gonna get to Miss Melania here in a minute. But I don't think y'all realize how diabolical this is. They went to the IRS and got records on people, but they were specifically asking about citizens. They claim that they're going after non-citizens. What's something non-citizens can't do? You're right, can't vote. Not on all levels. So who do you think that they're putting a hit list, making a hit list about? Because the information regarding voter fraud in Georgia is already in the hands of courts. Remember, Fulton County DA already pulled the records. Remember the release, the Kraken woman, she already told everybody how it went down, where it went down. That's in court documents. They could have subpoenaed that. See, this is why I say y'all have to stop compartmentalizing things apart from each other. Y'all got to stop putting the puzzle together and then deciding to pick up pieces and take them off the table. Because if you were concerned about, oh, it was stolen, all that information, it's in official court documents. On Conversations with Taz, we've gone over the information. So I think y'all need to realize how diabolical things are right now, and how even more diabolical they are about to become. Now, of course, we got a visibility restriction on TikTok. Quick reminder to those viewing me on TikTok right now, keep in mind that you can view this on other platforms. You can go to GCPR YouTube, or you can go to at TazJ77 YouTube and view it should the feed shut down. Like, why are y'all so in your feelings? Mm, mm. Now, after Minnesota was successful and gaining a court order blocking the federal government from destroying evidence in the Alex Preddy murder case, because that's what it is. Let me tell you what happened. 2 agents who fired at Alex Preddy in Minnesota are put on leave as investigation continues. 2, we as regular civilian citizens and residents are expected to be cool, calm, collected, and de-escalate everything. But the people who are supposedly trained can freak out so much after getting someone on the ground, disarming them, because they felt so threatened by a cell phone recording them, that they could do this. 2 Border Patrol agents who opened fire following the altercation with Alex Preddy in Minneapolis have been placed on administrative leave, according to reports. Placing the agents on leave is part of standard procedure of investigations into the 37-year-old's death continue, the Department of Homeland Security told The Independent, but nobody else through all of these other deaths. Through 34 other deaths, nobody's been put on administrative leave, at least not what they publicly said. And please explain to me, while during an ICE an ICE situation, Border Patrol was there. Border Patrol's placement is in the title. Border Patrol. And we have to stop using them interchangeably. They're two different legs of the Department of Homeland Security. 2 different legs, okay? Right arm, left arm. Border Patrol, ICE. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Border Patrol. But also, keep in mind, Kristi Noem is now throwing Stephen Miller under the bus. They are all throwing each other under the bus. They have lied so much, so rampantly, so robustly. They didn't think anybody was going to give them pushback. Now, I know the regular schmegala people, we've been correcting them. We've been giving them pushback. Legacy media, I'm talking to you. Given that y'all didn't want to, in their face, in real time, correct their rhetoric, they just kept up in the ante, especially Kristi Noem, as to the lies. Remember when she said that ICE had arrested an immigrant woman who ate her own arm? So now they're yeah, you're right. They are draw snitching on each other. Now they're throwing each other under the bus. They never thought the lepers would eat their face. Oh, I saw this coming from way down the street. I told y'all, anybody in Trump's sphere, whether political, business, or otherwise, because remember, for a while he was besties with Jeffrey Epstein. They keep, and we know this once again from court documents, they keep text messages, voice notes, handwritten notes, emails, everything to protect themselves. So if you think they haven't kept that on each other, I have some swampland smack in the middle of the Commonwealth of Kentucky that I'd like for you to take a look at and purchase. Okay? Okay. Now, let's also take a look at the change in rhetoric from President Donald John Trump Sr. Okay? Now he's talking about we need to de escalate things. That's a big word for Elmo. That's a good one. Hey, Corey. That's a big word for Elmo. You want to know why it stands out historically that he's choosing to use the word de escalate? Does he truly know what that word means? No. Now, throughout his first term and now his second term, people keep equating his presidency to Ronald Reagan. Y'all are off basis. I've told y'all this before. I'm going to tell you again. We're going to break this down. Pay attention this time, okay? Okay? I'm tired of y'all making it seem like I'm a bad teacher. Take the notes. Pay attention, okay? Okay. Because at the end of this, you should be able to pass the test. Trump's idol is Nixon. Trump is trying to take things from Nixon and run with it. Now, has he borrowed sprinklings from Reagan? Technically, yes. He's borrowed the same sprinklings that Reagan got from Nixon. The whole build the wall, Reagan started that wall stuff. That's why we had bits and pieces of a wall for so many decades. But it was Nixon that came up with we need to de escalate things. Because I want you to think what war did Nixon botch? When he realized, I boy boss too close to the sun. How do I get out of this? He had to come up with a tagline. We need to de escalate things. It's not really retreat. It's not really a surrender. We're not really losing. It's de escalation. We're the mature ones. Haven't you ever heard somebody who started some shit, but they wasn't about that shit? They wasn't nuck if you buck. They was tuck and run. And then all of a sudden they're like, I'm too mature for this. You know, like Elder Millennial Joseph Redden, who sidebar at a Turning Point USA event, he went mano a mano with another crazy right winger. Was like, you want to take this outside? Homeboy was like, yeah. Unzipped his quarter zip, took it off, and was like, let's go outside. And Joseph all of a sudden was like, oh, let's de-escalate things. I don't want to get you in trouble. Sonda, the familiar. Mm-hmm. 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 So that's where Trump got it from. Trump is realizing he's not getting the global support, nor is he getting the coast to coast national support that he thought that he was going to get. He has all these people in his ear going, yeah, you're doing the right thing. They love you. They love you. They love you. Look at just this right here. Look at the response we're getting off the TikTok for the White House. Yeah, they love you. They love you. And then he's like, oh, they're not. This ain't going the way I thought it was going to go. They might come and snatch me up out of the West Wing and put me on trial like BB from Philly for war crimes. So now he's like, how do I get out of this but still look like the big manly man? Because in his head, he still thinks that he's Fredo from the Godfather trilogy. And it's obvious that he didn't watch the trilogy all the way through. But we know that his attention span is shorter than the lifespan of a fly. Okay? So that's what he's doing. He tried to strong arm and act like he was the alpha is most alpha male ever. And it didn't work. It didn't work. So now he's going to the Republican playbook because, regardless of what factions make up the GOP, they have that magical shield. Hey, Christopher, of we're the mature ones. We're the party of law and order. Dog whistle. So we're gonna temper things. We're gonna bring down the temperature. We're going to de-escalate, and we're going to bring peace, even though we were the catastrophic demolition that caused all of this dismay. This is how they're able to look at you with a straight face and go, "What's both sides? We it's the Democrats that are calling for violence and it." Cause you cool, bitch. Yeah. They're eating the law. They're eating the order. Good one, sis. Good one. Yeah. Overwhelmingly, the Republican Party always wants to look like the mature one. And it's not just because it's filled with old, rich, elite white men that try to convince you that they're not old, rich, elite white men. The GOP is the oldest political party that we have in these here United States. They need to make you feel like this is where they need to go. They need to ingrain themselves as being just as American as baseball and apple pie. There's American as slavery, oppression, injustice, and inequalities. Also, white people, I need to talk to you once again. Let me remind you, I'm not talking to Anglo-Saxons. I'm not talking to Caucasians. I'm talking to white people. I'm talking about the people who gave up all their culture, all their everything to be a part of a void. Okay, that's what I'm talking to. I'm going to need y'all to realize you are overwhelmingly proving our point regarding white privilege slash leverage. You are showing that the duality of United States that we've been telling you about, that there's two of them coexisting, when you say, this isn't the America that I grew up with. This ain't the America that I love. Yes, it is. When did we become like this? We ain't never let law enforcement just take people out in the streets. We ain't never weaponized the law in the federal government or any government against our people. Yes, you have. And the sad part about it is, y'all will quote MLK and Malcolm X when you learned about when the National Guard was deployed against people just trying to get an education and turn around and say something like that. Y'all the same people that gave the same talking points that they're now using against you, your friends, your family, your loved ones, as they murder you in the streets against us. Mhm. I'm going to keep saying this until y'all completely get it. Black people have always been the litmus test for this land that is drenched in blood. When you show the powers that be that you are comfortable with dehumanization, when you are comfortable with genocide, they look at you like, bitch, we don't want you here either. Racism was never set up. It was never created for a group, a conglomerate, an incorporation to be at the top. It was set up for one person to be at the top. Hitler got that. I don't know why y'all didn't figure that out. Hitler picked up the US playbook and was like, I can rule the world by using white people who love to steal the world. Hey, Maya. Mm. Number one rule of racism: white people hate white people more than they hate anybody else. And once again, I'm not talking about Anglo-Saxons. I ain't talking about Caucasians. Okay, I ain't talking about the Swedish. I ain't talking about the German. I ain't talking about the Italians. I'm talking about white people. You know, white people who gave up everything to become a void upon society. You know, white people who cannot sustain themselves. White people who have bath days. White people who think that seasonings are chemical powders because they don't want to put it on anything. Okay, white people who won't wash anything, including their ass. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so if it don't apply, let it fly. Mhm, mhm. If you got a tinge of melanin, you're Caucasian. Okay. If you're a little super melanin deficient, Anglo-Saxon. There you go. Now get into the nitty gritty. This bitch behind me. For those listening in at gcpr.live, this bitch behind me is melanoma. I'm sorry, Melania Trump. White people who mainline ivermectin. Jesus, sis, you on a roll. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Now, melanoma Trump, who we know does not like to be a busted baby for her husband, is in the longest lasting semi-lavender. Well, I guess this wouldn't be a lavender marriage. This mango marriage that I've ever seen in my life. Had some failed attempts at suing people for defamation, and they was like, "Bitch, you did that shit." But go ahead and take us to court. We know you broke. You're gonna have to give us your dominatrix heels to pay us off if you take us to court. Went to go whine to Donald, like, Donald, I want the money. You don't have the money. How do I get the money? And he's like, don't worry, honey. I got a plan. Jeff wants some stuff done. We'll do some money laundering right in front of their face and get you a movie. Okay, Donald. Like, well, guess what? One ticket in the UK has been sold. The movie is supposed to premiere on Friday. And South Africa, yes, that's South Africa, the home of Afrikaners that decided they needed to be a protected class and come over here and then realize, oh shit, they not gonna give us free shit because we white and we immigrants. They done lied to us. And the one guy was like, hold my beer. I wasn't coming over here to stay. I came over here to kill this bitch that I didn't want to be married to anymore. And then I'm going back. These motherfuckers speak English over here, and I don't want to do that shit. Okay? Those South Africans, the Afrikaners was like, do you see what's going on in the US right now? That's too much. That's way too much. They put the whole jar dip on that one chip. The chip is crumbling. Abort chip. Abort chip. They was like, no, Melania's movie can't play here. They can't play here. They said that's a whole new brand. That's a whole new brand of racism that we don't want no parts in. We don't want to get them ideas over here. Absolutely not. The black people kind of sort of a little bit starting to trust us, even though we keep lying to them and trying to do all the racisms over here, but absolutely positively not. This level of racism is way bad. Okay, you want to know what the Rotten Tomatoes rating on this was? Well, when I checked before it started the show, 0. I don't think I've ever seen that. And I've seen, so I checked, there's some horrible movies out there, like horrible. Okay, Mr. Man be intentionally picking messed up movies to get me to watch, and I go check, and they're not even at 0. Elon bought a ticket anonymously through a third party. Actually, the one ticket that sold in the UK, I think it's the chick that was trying to sugar baby Baron. But child, but child, but child, but child, but child. Have y'all noticed that even MAGA isn't talking about going to see this movie? Nobody's talking about putting together a little cute outfit, going out to brunch first. Oh my God. Because remember, they said that she's the most educated, she's the prettiest, we love our first lady, we love her. I told you, a lot of them lie. They lie to try to make it fly. But baby. The movie that they premiered at the White House, they had a viewing. Well, nobody from the Trump family talking about it, so who was invited? Because it's pretty clear that Melania is that type of stepmother. She's that type of stepmother. Like, Donald, Do the other children have to touch me? I don't want that. Don't let them sit there. Just Baron. Just Baron. Um, like, I mean, these are the same people that claim that they was looking for that infamous green jacket. Nobody cares that she wore. But coming from the Guardian, coming from the Guardian, are people really going to see Amazon's $75 million Melania documentary? Now, in case you don't know, this documentary chronicles the 2-week period leading up to the inauguration. Not the campaign journey, not her immigration story. And do not think that the irony is missed upon me that they decide to make a documentary about an immigrant whose grasp of the English language is abysmal at best. And I'm saying this, and those of y'all that know my history know I can say this, while trying to force out other immigrants from the crowd of, you in America, speak English or speak English the way I speak English. Okay? Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not often that a presidential administration faces a direct referendum at the box office. Sure, there was more than a hint of rebuke in Michael Moore's 2004 documentary Fahrenheit 9/11, unexpectedly becoming the biggest grossing non music or nature documentary of all time and highest full stop in North America while taking re-election year shots at George W. Bush, who went on to squeak out another victory anyway. But that movie was also sold on Moore himself, a recent Oscar winner and a fixture in both film and television by that point. Bush was Bush was excoriated and he wasn't exactly getting top billing. I mean, he also had a shoe thrown at him. The unambiguous star of this weekend's Trump approved documentary is right there in the title, Melania. It's coming to 1,500 theaters this weekend from Amazon/MGM. Now, if you are a member to AMC, go into your app because you can pre-purchase tickets and choose your seats. And the choosing of the seats is a blessing and a curse. Okay, it is a blessing and a curse because when you can go and you can see how many. Now, somebody said this morning during the Sound of Coffee, and if you do not listen and tune in and watch the Sound of Coffee, make sure you do Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central on these GCPR streets, stated that they think that there are kids buying tickets to her little documentary in order to slip and slide, dip and dive into better movies that they will probably need a chaperone for. So, yeah. So, relatively few documentaries receive wide release, though Melania is going out in about half as many theaters as last weekend's Amazon release, the Chris Pratt vehicle Mercy. So, comparison points are relatively few. Box office predictions generally place the movie well under Moore's unlikely high water mark for the form. Here's the thing. The director is a pedophile. And Trump also has hinted, like, hey, why don't you make a Rush Hour 4? So he went from Rush Hour to Rushed Whore. I said what I said. Let me repeat that. He went from Rush Hour to Rushed Whore. I even went into message boards, meetings, etc., with other educators, specifically in the realm of history, because that's my meat and potatoes. That's my thing. And I was like, are y'all planning any field trips? Are you encouraging your students to watch it and come back to class? They said no. And in some of these forms, there are staunch MAGA that are in there. And no. I asked a few of my students that I have in class, students that I tutor, do y'all want to discuss this at any point? Because I like it. If I got to do it to keep my paycheck, I'll watch it. Because at this point, I believe that it would be a business expense. So No, no, nobody wants to see it. But this goes back into what I said a week or so ago when I said these people are acting like their whole families love the Trumps, that they truly love the Trumps. But you notice how the parents didn't have Trump themed birthday parties, anniversaries, none of that. But they overrode their children to do it. And even with all that indoctrination, they don't want to do that. Not to mention, I don't know what this woman is doing to continue to think that she looks young. But have you noticed that her eyes every year get closer and closer together? Like, I'm pretty sure her eyes be looking at each other like, the closer I get to you, the more you make me squint, blinking more. I can't stand that. If you've been here from the beginning and you heard my opening and you thought this was going to be serious all the way through, I don't know what to tell you. I said daily news in a way you didn't know you could use. I never said that I was a Cronkite, okay? Never said I was broke out. Never said I was Baba Wawa, okay? Never said that. Well, Baba Wawa, but not Walter. You know, they started using Gorilla Glue. Glory. God. But I'm just like I finally saw the trailer on the TV earlier while I was sitting through the Rubio trial and a couple press conferences and looking at footage of different protests that are happening today. Um, well, the money they paid for the movie, that was money laundering. It was money laundering. They're doing the Trump administration is doing a whole lot of money laundering right in front of people's faces. That's all they're doing. Hold on. Yeah, South Africa pulled all of them. Hold on. Yeah, South Africa pulled. You can't you can't see this. You cannot see the movie Melania in South Africa. They're like, due to the current climate in the United States, we can't, in good faith, show you this. I'm like, you know what? I ain't mad at you. And do you know how despicable you have to be that all of these countries around the world, they've learned their tactics from us? Apartheid is Jim Crow with meth and crack mixed into the batter. Do you know how bad it would be for them to say no? Why would they even promote it in Africa, tone deaf? Is it tone deaf to promote it in the continent of Africa? One of the most colonized continents? She's the wife of a world leader. They both have inflated egos. They really believe that they have all of this support. And generally, she pops out and she will do photo ops and everything and want to fulfill her quote unquote first lady duties when they touch down on the continent of Africa. I think people forget that every place is not the United States. And I think some of y'all are under the false impression that there's a plethora of places where racism doesn't exist. And now, no, that's like their unifying belief. That is their unifying belief. Africans have their own dictators. Their wives are not into this. Africa is a continent, and you're showing your racism and your utter stupidity. I'm not even going to say ignorance because in 2026, and you're speaking to a historian, and I'm sitting here telling you this, and you are choosing to live in ignorance. That's stupidity. Stupidity is a choice, ignorance isn't. The one that's tone deaf and intellectually deaf, that's you, partner. You should fix that. You should truly fix that. I don't know what made you think, looking at my black ass, that you could come over here with racial tropes regarding an entire continent and that was going to fly. And if you're claiming that Africa is riddled with dictators and we have a budding pseudo dictator over here, that wouldn't be tone deaf for them to go over there. Is you cool, bitch? Don't let the boobs fool you. I can be kind. I can be nice. I'm never benevolent. Now, so while Stephen Miller's being thrown under the bus by Christy, I can't figure out what face I want to wear today. No, he did concede that the agents in Minnesota may not have followed protocol. You think? You think? But see, that's a slippery slope because we already got information about how y'all are training currently new border patrol agents and new ICE agents. You're legitimately training them to step in front of cars and telling them that at that point they can say that they fear for their lives and shoot. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but I don't want to get hit by no car. I don't. That's not my thing. That's not my ministry. Okay, I don't. I would not make a good hood ornament. No, absolutely, totally not. That's one thing we're not gonna do. Okay. And then a part of the hey squishy. And in comes my kryptonite, my better half. So, and then part of the de-escalation, the Nixon era of Trump, he said Tuesday that he did not think Alex Preddy, that he was acting as an assassin. But he did say you can't have guns, you can't walk with guns. When did the "oh, shut up, you libtard, we got guns, you ain't got no guns, you can't take my guns, don't tread on me, I gotta have these guns in case the government don't tread on me" turn into, well, it's okay, we really shouldn't be able to carry our guns around. No, you shouldn't be leaving the house with the guns. All right, sis. Like, when did this happen? And you want to know what I think is the craziest is the amount of people who get on here and go, yeah, I conceal and carry, I open carry, I take my gun everywhere with me. But if I see a cop, then what? Because Christy Nome also said, and actually multiple people in this administration have said, since Mr. Preddy was murdered, if they see a gun on you, even if it's after they have you detained, you you become an increased, enhanced threat. That you should leave your guns at home. So you went through gathering the money to go get these firearms, gathering the money to go get bullets. Some of y'all got properly trained. A lot of y'all didn't. Don't lie about it. Some of y'all treat gun ownership like y'all do pet ownership. Y'all just go get it and wing it. Ain't had a checkup, don't know how to do nothing, barely clean it. Yeah. hmm we don't want to take your guns. It's the dams that won't take your guns. Are now telling you, don't walk around with your guns or we're going to take them. hmm. Don't cry for me, USA. You were dumber. Okay, DJ, than when I met you. And y'all not taking to the streets for that? Y'all not taking to the streets for that? And what happened to everybody that's like, well, just don't bring a gun to a protest? You didn't say that about Kyle Rittenhouse, and he was a minor with an illegally purchased firearm, didn't have any type of permit to carry it around, was told not to bring it, smuggled it out of the house, and was using it to protect property. I thought y'all was hashtag protect the children, hashtag all lives matter, hashtag white lives matter. And y'all just ticking white lives right off the registry. I know. It's ridiculous, ain't it? I know. I'm I know. I'm trying to tell them. They don't want to listen. Boy, ain't nobody coming to take your guns. Your guns aren't even real. They're not coming to take them. They're not coming to take them. I promise you. I know. It's stupid. I told them that too. Reminded them of that. No, they supposed to be rising again, but they real quiet right now. I realized they said they had the militias. I don't know where the militias are. I guess they disbanded. Yes, I remember the training videos. Yes, I remember the guy that poked his eye out building trenches for this same thing. But he don't want to be a Proud Boy or a 3%er anymore. I reminded him of all of that. Thank you. I know I said the K word. He went crazy. He said, here he come again. But yeah, all the militias, all of it. Where you at? Like, where are y'all at? The federal government is literally telling you, just don't walk around with your gun. Even if you get all the paperwork, we're gonna be scared of you. It's like you going to the damn doctor's office and the doctor having a whole conniption because you got a mole that you went there for them to treat. You know, braiding hair on the beach does not seem like that bad of an option. It really, really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. But now as we round out today's show, I just feel like as poetic justice, for the sake of the documentary, and yes, I'm using this word very loosely, of our cum bucket of a first lady, Melanoma Trump, I feel like we should call, email at ICE with questions. Like, how are we documenting and honoring an immigrant here with unvetted credentials during this time? I think we got some questions. I think we should ask them how come they haven't investigated melanoma. How come they didn't? I think that we should do that. I think that we should flood their lives. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I also think that we should start calling in tips every time she leave the White House and give the address to where she at. I do. And given that her and Baron, okay, the young man who looks like a young and old man all at the same time, I think that we should start calling in like, I'm afraid. Oh, it's a dangerous immigrant over here. Oh, I think they undocumented. I think they yeah, make it convincing. Okay. Throw us some I'm fearful. I don't know if she can legally be here. She looks so scary. You know how those people are. Call. Treat ICE like they Tyrone. And you need Tyrone to pick up their phone so the Tyrone come pick up their friend. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, call them on the rest of the anchor babies. You know, Ivanka, Don Jr., Eric, because they mama, we don't know about her citizenship either, just because she in the upper room. I mean, they don't get a pass either. We got questions. Check into them advances too. Usha, where your papers at? You got to live under the same rules that you and your husband voted for. Usha, bring your parents to the front. Nikki Haley, I ain't forgot about you either. Nimrata Kashapatel. Hey, every time you see him at a country music concert, call ICE. I know. I don't know. I don't know if he's looking at me or the stage or the both of us. It's so scary. Oh my God. Yes, please come now. Oh, I think he's trafficking a white girl. Yeah, he's got a white girl. Oh my God. I don't think she needs to. I don't think she wants to be with him. Do it. Do it. Play their game. Play their game. Where are the good Karens and Richards when you need them? Okay, this is your time to shine. Okay, you need to be asking to speak to all the managers. Okay, you need to be having all the discounts. And let's not forget Greg Bavino. One generation removed from a murderer, two generations removed from an undocumented immigrant. Ah, ah, ah. You ain't supposed to be here. Ron DeSantis, y'all grandmama, when she came over here, if she would have waited one more week, she wouldn't have qualified because she wasn't smart enough. We need to go look at that. Did she properly apply for her citizenship? Rubio, Rafael, Ted Cruz, what you doing here? You can't even tell the truth about what your father endured. I think we need to look into that. And they all look a little scary. I don't know about y'all. I don't feel safe around them. I feel like they are the criminal element. We said that we were getting rid of the criminals that came in here illegally. Like Ed Drumpf, Donald John Drumpf, whose grandparents were expatriated out of Germany. They're not here because they thought it was the home of the brave and land of the free and the land of opportunity. They didn't have any place else to go. But the criminal element, I think we should start calling in ICE tips on them. I think we should. Those are the rules. They said that if we want to be here, we should be law abiding citizens and we shouldn't push back against the administration. So let's listen to them. Let's follow their rules. We know about a plethora of people doing illegal things, and we can't substantiate their citizen status. Now, most of them happen to work in DC, but okay, I'm jealous of what, Beaver? Of a woman who has to keep going in for plastic surgery that's causing her eyes to start to be kissing cousins every 2 to 3 business years? I'm jealous of a woman who had to suck tic tac dick in order to get citizenship. Oh, okay. So I'm glad you are in agreement that she's an ain't shit rushed whore because you just said yup. Thank you. If you're gonna come here and play, make sure that your particle particles work here. And you don't for free. Is you cool, bitch? No, I'm not out here sucking random dick and fucking people on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. I don't show up at a date with one person and give somebody else my number. I don't have a creepy relationship with my son. I didn't marry somebody to live separately from them and then start having coitus with my security guard. I know the paternity of my children. And without surgery, I can knock on 50's door. Bitch. I keep telling y'all. I could be nice. I could be kind of. You know so much about her, so jealous. No, I'm a historian and I do news. You popped into a news show. It's called the Taz Effect. Daily news in a way you didn't know you could use. It's my job to know these things. If I didn't do this for a living, I wouldn't give a fuck about crow feet face. But here we are, talking about melanoma. Not to mention she's the first lady of the United States. I don't know about you, but if somebody's sitting atop the political hierarchy in a country where I reside, I like to know about them. I know about our Secretary of State. I know about our governors. I know about all of our cabinet members. Just like I know how the second lady is making history by being knocked up. It's my fucking job. Do you have one? Or did you just name yourself after what you can't get? Beaver. Hey, Solid. Thanks for popping in, darling. Y'all, y'all really think y'all got it twisted. Y'all be thinking that I'm truly sugar and spice and everything nice. I'm not. Ouch. I'm glad you felt that. Now, how about you get out of my stream and go touch yourself, and maybe that'll make you a better person. And read a book. Some people will tell you to go touch grass, but I think you need to knock them cobwebs off. Okay? Okay. I'm not the person to try to troll. I promise you, I'm not. Okay? There's some lovely women here in the GCPR family. Okay? They'll be nice. There's even a couple that'll pray for you. That ain't me. Okay. How you wait a damn minute. What? I know English isn't my first language, but damn it. How you don't go live so people won't have to hear your jealous beat. Okay, you know what? How about you stop jerking it to your mama's pictures from the 6th grade? How about you came over here to give me your attention? So you must think I'm lovely. All right. And how about you stop using pickle jars and honey jars to get sensations up your Bucci cat? How about you pick up a book and finish the 7th grade before you come over here trying to play with me? All right? Because if we both got to stand on the step stool to reach the second shelf, you can't say nothing to me. You don't have enough girth or length to try to put any type of base and tell me what to do or what not to do. You don't feed me, you don't fund me, and I wouldn't let you anywhere near me to fondle me. So, and why are you so pressed? If I seem to be so beneath you, why are you here? Hmm? It's that Neanderthal gene pool. I said Bucci cat. You bewildered, busted betwixt the ears, dumb. Can't say that word. Just because Your mother showed up on that date with a full stomach instead of taking the meal that she was supposed to have, which was boneless baby. Okay. She decided she didn't want nut milk that night. So she didn't gobble the boneless chicken nugget babies. Okay. And here we are having to deal with your mother's dilapidated coitus coin. Hmm. My money is still needed for what? Y'all are weird. And I don't know why y'all riding for melanoma. Who told y'all to go F yourselves? Who told y'all she don't care about y'all? Now, since you know I'm the designated cursor, I know. I know. I know. I tried. I'm trying to be good. I didn't say the bad word though. I'm getting better with I didn't say the bad word. Oh, always, sis, always. We love a good block party. We love a good block party. But as always, thank you for joining me here. Oh yeah, we know Melanoma's movie is going to be a flop. I really need y'all to pay attention and listen before you decide to come into the show. Get better with that. Y'all are full-grown adults. But thank you for joining us tonight. Next up on GCPR Radio tonight we have Rose High Exalted. Yes. With the highest host that always give you the most, and also Heart to Heart with Pastor Heart. So if you want to get high, go over to YouTube. If you want to get some healing, go over to gcpr.live later on tonight. As always, I will see you all at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, as we continue to go through the memoir Nobody's Girl by Epstein and Maxwell victim Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Other than that, as always, each one teach one, each one reach one. Don't do anything that requires bail, not in this economy. But also remember, it only requires bail should you get caught.